I-86 After Dark recommends simply the best cleaning services. Call 716-912-6940. Western New York's cleaning and restoration leader. From Buffalo to Long Island, this is I-86 After Dark.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to I-86 After Dark. I am your host, Buffalo Bob, and on my right is my co-host, the one and only, the Great Dame, a.k.a. Damien Mike Rudd. Damien, how you doing tonight, brother?
I'm doing good, man. It was a long week. We got a lot to get into. Not too much positive, but, we could always hope for the future.
That's the only way you could do it, really, is just hope for the future, pray for a new day tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. I hear you.
It sucks, but sometimes you just have to just hope with the best and just go with it. But in general, though, how you been lately?
Tired, You got the daylight savings time. Now it gets dark. I go down into my dungeon here for work when it's dark, and then I get out of work and I go upstairs and it's dark again. So not much daylight here in Buffalo this time of year.
Didn't it just snow recently too?
It did. It actually snowed the day of the Bills game. Pretty bad too for a while, but we ended up only getting like about 3 inches total.
God damn. I mean, 3 inches is not bad at all, realistically.
No, it's pretty. It just came really quick. It was like in a matter of like an hour or two. So it all came down really fast.
It's not terrible, but I think, it could have been more. I mean, I'm kind of surprised considering, Buffalo's reputation of being the city that always snows, kind of like Siberia in a sense. I mean, I've been to Buffalo, but it's like, every time I go up there, it always snows. Even if it's like late October, it usually snows, or in mid-April or even May, it snows.
Yeah, well, we got super lucky last year because I don't think it snowed until December, and we didn't get our first real snow till after Christmas. But this year, a little bit earlier, and I think it's probably going to be a bad winter. That's what they're saying. But, I mean, we went into watching that Bills-Miami game, and the Bills were just atrocious in that game. And they keep showing the super sunny Miami, Florida, and how nice it looks. And then I'm looking out my window, and these big-ass snowflakes are falling down, and it's gray and cold and 27. And I'm like, God damn.
You just lucked out at that point. You just lucked out at that point. You know what I mean? But, no, so before we get into tonight's show, I know a lot of you are going to be watching. Surprisingly, we got a good number of people. We got 12 people watching tonight. That is a new record for us. So keep those views up, guys. Yeah, usually we get maybe 5 to 6 people, and we got a comment from Dino. He says hi. And,
how you doing, Dino?
Yeah, thank you for joining us for tonight. But the other thing I must say before I forget is if you guys are in for the Jigs McDonald interview, it will be up in 1 hour at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It will be available both on YouTube and on Spotify. So if you're looking for that interview, it'll be on at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So with that,
oh my God, they're leaving already. They
No.
They weren't here for us.
Yeah, well, fuck you too, Damien. No, you scared them away.
Yeah, you're gonna have to listen. Oh my God, it's not a 6 now.
Oh, damn it, I jinxed it.
They must have been here for Jigs. I was like, damn. I was like, he only got to listen to us for like an hour. Less than an hour now.
Yeah, I mean, you got that, and then we have, of course, we have the coverage for the Islanders and the Sabres and whatnot, but we'll get all down to that. So, with that being said, let's get down to the football side of things first. So, let's start with you, because there's been a bit of a breakdown, I guess, in Giantland.
Oh my God! Well, the axe finally fell. It's been a long time coming. Finally firing Dayball. I mean, what else could you say about this team? I mean, they were up by double digits again this week to the Chicago Bears with 4 minutes left to go in the game. 4. And somehow they just lose again, 24-20. Like I said, this is the 4th time this season that they lost a double-digit lead in the game. And 2 of them were just horrific. This game and the Denver Bronco game. There's just no coming back. And he had 2 of them, so I'm like, yeah, he had to go. He had to go.
Yeah, no. At that point, you had to get rid of Dable. And I think you said it, too. You were like, well, Dable, it's unsustainable. You can't keep him around as coach for the time being. And then it's like, after a while, you're like, you got to get rid of him. And then, of course, this past Tuesday, which as of this recording was yesterday when Dable got fired. Or no, it might have been Monday. Monday, Dable got fired. And sure enough, he gets the boot. And that's all it wrote. And the Giants are now under Mike Kafka, who is going to be the interim head coach for the remainder of the season. But here's what I don't understand. How the fuck did Joe Shane get his job? Like, how did he even was able to survive that? He was able to keep his job and fire Dable in the process.
I think what happens is right now they're just starting from the bottom and working their way up. But really, this needs to start from the top and work its way down. The Maras need to sell this team, for one. Most of their money is tied up in the Giants. That's their money. That's their cash cow. And in football today, these billionaire owners, they make their money elsewhere. Like NFL is just like their little side gig. But for the Maras, this is their gig. This is where they make all their money. And it's like the Giants are one of the biggest revenue streams, and they're run like a small market. I don't get it. You got to start. I think they really need a new owner first, and then let's work to the GM, and then finally work to the coach. But they're starting the other way and going with the coach and seeing where this goes.
It's so backwards. It really is. It's so backwards with how the Giants are running operations. For one, because you have an incompetent coach who cannot manage a game for his life if it depends on it. For one, because Dable got the axe. And you said how many games has he blown this year, including last year, if you can remember?
Oh, I don't remember last year, but this year was the 4th time this season. Double-digit lead, and they blew it.
He should have been fired after that Broncos game a few weeks ago.
I thought he should. I thought he was going to get fired after the Broncos game, but he held on for a little bit longer. The other issue that I had was, and it came to reality, which I talked to last week, was Dart's going to get killed out there, and he's our future. And what happened? He went out with a concussion. I believe that's officially, I think it's his first in the league. I think he probably had one earlier in the season. So I'm going to say probably his second this season. And now they got to go to Jameis Winston, which is fine. This season's not going anywhere. I just, start with 2 concussions now. Yeah.
You're with the finger looking good thing. Jameis Winston should get a job at KFC and be like the spokesperson, their new Colonel Sanders, because it's finger looking good.
Yeah. Well, my daughter works at KFC. Maybe she could talk to somebody there.
What a coincidence.
Well, we do have some comments here, so let me put them up here. What's up, Jay? The boys are back in town. What's happening, fellas?
Rock on. Thank you.
And then, from Larry. I watched that game over the Bills game. Can't believe the Giants lost. Turned the Bills game off there after the second Miami's second touchdown.
Okay. I don't know where the hell to begin with that game, because I'm not going to lie, and I am not going to sugarcoat this. Thank God I missed the first half. And the main reason I missed the first half of that game was simply because I was coming home because I went on a getaway with my wife to Hawley, Pennsylvania, because my younger brother lives in Hawley with his wife, and we went over there for the weekend just to kind of escape. And my wife wanted to leave around 11:30 because from Hawley back to Long Island is about 4 hours plus traffic. It's a major pain in the ass. So we also got there very late. So it was like, let's just spend some extra time when we can. And the next thing you know, it's 11:30, and my wife and I are driving back, and I'm listening to the Bills game on the way home. And I said, hopefully this is not a complete disaster. And Miami started off so piss poor in the beginning of that game because there was a miscommunication with the plays and the routes, and they had to call a timeout, and they got flagged, I think, twice. It was just bad. And I'm saying to myself, oh, here we go. This is a typical Miami Dolphins game for you. And then I'm trying my best, driving through the mountains, and there's no Wi-Fi, and it was frustrating. And what's even more frustrating was I was listening to the game on the radio, and all I can hear was just, deep passes that were thrown, incomplete, run stoppages. And I'm like, what is going on here? And then I look back at the highlights from that game, and I say to myself, holy shit, this team did not prepare. They did not prepare at all for that game. And rightfully so, they got the shit kicked out of them. And it's gotten so bad that it's put the media in a tailspin to the point where people are talking about the Bills saying, they're not going to be Super Bowl contenders, but I'll get to that in a little bit. I did see the second half of the game, and it was even worse than the first half. And I did read the stats. There were 3 turnovers, and 2 of them were by Josh Allen, and then James Cook with a fumble. So there was a lot of theories behind that game of why they were so piss poor, but it was bad. It was so horrible. I was so mad that I shut the game off when it was about maybe 7 minutes left to go. I was that fucking angry.
Well, I was just going to say, I said between the two of us, we maybe watched the whole game. Because I only watched this first half up until halftime when it was 16-0. And then I decided that the Bills are just not even going to wake up for this game. So I actually ended up leaving and going to the gym with my son.
There you go. And I feel like this is a trend because the Giants have been awful. Jackson Dart gets proceeded for a 4th concussion, test, and he actually does get a concussion, and they blow the lead against the Bears, and then the Bills, they didn't even bother to show up. It's almost like they were built for one team, which was my biggest theory for years, that, when we did Buffalo After Dark, we always talked about how the Bills are structured to build Kansas City both in the regular season and in the playoffs, but they have no problem with choking the living shit out of themselves against a mediocre team like the Miami Dolphins. And I'm saying to myself, Jesus Christ, this is fucking terrible. And they proved to be right, unfortunately. And on top of all that, the media went so hard on them that they're like, oh, the window is closed. Oh, they're pretenders. And all the smoke is coming out. And I was just so blasphemous by it. For one, I understand they're 6-3, the sky's falling. But they do this every year. Every single year. The Bills are the only team in the entire league out of 31 teams, including them, that gets the treatment of, oh, sorry, you're on a 2-game losing streak. Your window is closed.
Yeah, I think that's going to happen if you lose to any team like Miami or Cleveland or something like that. But I don't think the season's over yet. You just got to get hot at the right time. There's still plenty of time for the Bills to correct. I look back to my Giants, when they snuck into the playoffs. Winning the last 4 games of the season that year, and then going into the playoffs and then just steamrolling all the way to the Super Bowl. So
yeah,
it can happen.
It very well could. I'm not saying they won't. I'm just simply saying I think the Bills will make the playoffs, but as far as right now, as of this recording, they are not winning the AFC East unless the Patriots have the worst luck in the world. If let's say tomorrow, because they play the Jets, let's say that Drake May gets hurt and God forbid he gets tackled and he has an Achilles tear or he has an ACL tear or a separated shoulder, some bum fuck of a game. Because the thing that's driving me crazy is how people in the media are sucking on their dicks again, like it's Brady all over again. And they say, oh my God, the Patriots, they're the best team in the league. Oh my God, the God Emperor is back. Oh, we have to talk positive about the Pats. Drake May's looking great. And I'm like, yeah, he's looking great. But again, look at the schedule. Yeah, they beat the Bucs. That's legit. Good on them. They beat the Bills. Good on them. But it's the same vibes that I'm getting when the Steelers were 11-0 that one year. Mm-hmm. That's what this feels like to me.
Well, now next up on the schedule for the Bills are the Tampa Bay Bucs.
Yes,
and they're a 5.5-point favorite, and I think it's going to be the tale of two Bills. You're going to have that game last week against Miami and get blown out, and then they have a chance to come in here and dominate the Bucs at home.
Mm-hmm.
It just depends what team shows up.
Absolutely. I don't think the Bills are going to want to go down that road again because Sean McDermott, I'm going to say this now. Sean McDermott has been the head coach now for 10 years almost, and he puts this team in a situation where it's like, yeah, you beat the Chiefs. Go ahead. Relax, guys. Don't worry about the Dolphins. They clearly did not prepare. They did not prepare. And it's very clear to me how much I fucking hate that Irish prick because of the fact that is that, you know, Clappy McBastard over there is going, good job for mediocrity, guys. Good job. You can have a fifth-string wide receiver making a catch and it fumbles out of his hands. It'd be like, excellent work. Excellent work. And then it's like, you don't hear anything, like it's radio silent when it's revolved around everyone else. You know what I mean? It's like, Josh Allen got the blame, yes, and I blame Josh Allen because he's supposed to rally the troops. But what I also think is a little bit of a controversial take, I'll leave it to the viewers as well, is this. Is it really fair to say that the window is truly closing if, for one, you don't have receivers, and two, none of the receivers want to actually put in the work to actually help him out? And it's also down to Brandon Beane because Beane, I think, is a bigger issue to the team than McDermott or Allen for that matter. Because people have been saying for years, this team will not win shit when McDermott and Beane are on the team. And people are like, please trade Josh Allen. Please trade him. I don't think they're going to do that. What I think is going to happen is if they miss the playoffs, and you know what? I hope to God they miss the playoffs. Because if they miss the playoffs, that's going to force the Pagula family, who are just like the Mara family, who don't do dick unless something goes up their ass.
I mean, I understand what you're saying about McDermott, and I think his time may be coming to a close here. But when you have Josh Allen as your quarterback, how the hell do you get held scoreless for 3 quarters?
It's unacceptable.
It's just, I know he doesn't have that many weapons, and the one weapon he did have, Dalton Kincaid, now is week to week with a hamstring injury, so he even lost that weapon. What's Joe Brady doing? I don't know what he's doing.
He turned Josh Allen into a fucking vegetable. And let me tell you, the guy turned into a vegetable. And it's like, okay, Dable, he was a hard ass. He didn't want to be in Buffalo. He wanted to be a head coach to get away from McDermott. He ironically gets fired. And then all of a sudden there's noise in Buffalo like, oh, get rid of Joe Brady, but bring Dable back. And McDermott outright shuts that door down and basically says it's not happening this year. And I'm saying to myself, oh, that's great, because the last time I saw that happen, Ted Dorsey got fired in the middle of the year when he said, I have complete trust. Like, Sean, I'm not a fucking idiot. I literally listen to your press conferences. All you do is sing the same song and expect a different tune. That's not going to happen.
But do you really think that they're going to hire Dable back before the end of the season? I don't see Dable coming back unless McDermott is gone.
I could very well see that happen, but the other possibility that I could very well see happen as far as this carousel goes is if McDermott does get fired, I've heard the name John Gruden being thrown around.
Okay.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know if I take I don't know. I mean, how long has he been? I mean, he's been around football, but he's been out of football for a while.
Yeah, he's been out for about 6-7 years.
6-7, you say?
Yeah, something on that line. I will say is that the pure fucking agony of the Buffalo Bills, the state of the Buffalo Bills, is driving me fucking crazy. And I'm not alone about this because I can't be, because it's like you have an incompetent bald fuck who won't even shave off his own pubic hair, mind you, and donate it to kids in Africa. Even they would kill to have that, mind you. And yet you also have a arrogant piece of shit GM in Brandon Bean, Mr. Asking for wide receivers is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Remember that shit?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, now it's come back full circle. Let me tell you this, you piece of shit. And not you, Damien, but to Brandon B. Let me tell you something, you piece of shit. I don't care if you make the playoffs for an extended period of time. If you make the playoffs consistently, awesome. You saved us all. Oh my God, we should donate McDonald's to your fucking doorstep for the rest of your life. So, okay, great. You did that. You got God-given grace in this situation. Now go get a quarterback. You get Josh Allen. And from there, it was like, you get Stephon Diggs. Great, you're building around Josh Allen. And then after 13 seconds is basically where everything went downhill. Diggs gets traded. Allen has no weapons at all because Mr. I don't need to trade for a wide receiver. It's the dumbest thing I ever heard. Has the fucking audacity to literally not only trade for not anybody in general, but he thinks, oh, yeah, this is fine. I'm fine with a fifth-string wide receiver. I'm fine with a second-string running back. No, the fuck you're not. You're just incompetent. You're almost worse than fucking McDermott, okay? The only difference between you and McDermott is that you have a full load of fucking hair. It has a lot of pride on it.
Touche. We do have a bunch of comments to get to, though.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's see. This one goes. Oh wait, we already read that one. Here we go.
Yeah, Giants have
this from Jay. Giants have to eat Russell Wilson's $10.5 million contract. Guys, I ask you, what can the Giants do about Wilson this offseason?
Let him go.
Yeah, you're just gonna have to eat it.
Yeah, just let him go. Lauren says if the Bills lose another 3 or 4 games for the rest of the year, they miss the playoffs. The Chiefs and Baltimore will make a run to the wild card spot. Kansas City has the same record as Carolina a week ago. Next team. Maybe Tomlin will get fired by the Steelers and we can hire him as our head coach. No way. No. Fuck way. You. No. And then Jolene says, I agree. Dable won't come back with McDermott, but I could see him coming. And then Jay also says the Buffalo Bob Bills rant is live. Like and hit the subscribe button. Thank you, Jay, for the endorsement. I applaud you. and then you can read this one.
Coming back to work with Josh again. I guess that's Dayball.
Why am I so fucking angry today?
I'm telling you, though, it was a tough week, man. It was a tough week.
Why am I so fucking angry?
But there has to be some kind of accountability with the Bills, though. You just saw finally some accountability with the Giants. Yes. Granted, that was coming for years. But, I mean, how much longer can we just keep going in this circle?
It wastes his prime. If they don't make a change within a year or two, they're going to Marino Allen. Or they're going to Phillip Rivers the guy. Because you know why? Because, and I've said it before, I don't give a fuck who disagrees with me on this. And you know what? We live in the greatest country in the world, and you can disagree with me on it. Terry Pegula is pure fucking cancer. And let me tell you folks why. Because Terry, of all people, and I said this to Tom, the minute that the Bills became available, that was all Pegula wanted. He wanted the Bills. And he threw the Sabres away, and look what happened to the Sabres. He's doing it right now with the Bills. And the only reason he refuses to fire that bald piece of shit is because he knows full well that if he gets fired, the Bills are going right back to mediocrity. And he does not know how to pick a coach or a GM for his life. And that's why he holds on to him.
And what's crazy, like I was just watching on Netflix a really good documentary about the Montreal Expos. What happened to the Montreal Expos, and it kind of reminds me of that. There was a New York City investor lawyer that wanted to buy a MLB team, and the only one that he could afford to buy at the time was the Expos, but he pretty much had no intention of ever staying there. And then he eventually went on to the Florida Marlins and duped them into building that brand new stadium. It's just, and what did Pegula do? He duped the taxpayers here into footing most of the bill for the new stadium also.
Yeah, and that's the other issue is that Terry Pegula is just John Mara, but on the opposite side of the tri-state area. That's it. Terry Pegula only cares about Terry Pegula. He doesn't give a fuck about the Bills. If he did give a fuck about the Bills, he would have the audacity to fire Sean McDermott. He would fire Brandon Beane. He had no problem firing Rex Ryan. So don't give me that bullshit that say, oh, we should fire Rex Ryan. We should fire Sean McDermott. You should, because McDermott is not immortal. Unless you're the Rooney family who keep Tomlin for much longer than he should be. And notice how in Pittsburgh, mind you, with the Steelers, notice how all of the coaches that get fired either retire or their contracts expire. But you know what doesn't change? The head coach. What is happening in Buffalo? It's the same playbook.
It's the same circle. We get hopeful at the beginning of the season. It's a little shit at the beginning. Then we get on a roll. Then it's like, oh, we got the number one. We're going number one this year. We're going to get the AFC East. And then playoffs happen or before playoffs. And somehow we lose. And then it's like, oh, we'll wait till next year. Yeah.
Yeah, no. I'm telling you right now, if the Bills fire McDermott tomorrow and they miss the playoffs, good fucking riddance. Because that guy, all he cares about is saying, there are players on this roster. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Because your playoff failures have been luring the city. This city should have won a championship 3 years ago. But nope, you decided, nope, let's just go Tampa Bay 4-3 defense in 13 seconds in the playoffs against Kansas City a couple years ago. You dumb fuck. And yet you're a defensive-minded coach.
Yeah, that was incredible.
Oh, my God. I mean, don't get me wrong.
There's also another crazy stat, though, that I looked up before we came in to record tonight. The Bills are 5-0 when Cook rushes for 100 yards or more in a game. 5-0 this season. Now, Miami, he was only held to 53 yards. So they lost. But, I mean, the run game and the passing game go hand in hand. I think Cook is running well if Josh Allen is throwing well. If the one's not working, then it seems like they're both not working.
Yeah. Well, I do want to mention something real quick before I forget. And this is revolved around what you were just saying. Is that notice when Josh Allen got drafted into the NFL by the Bills, notice how in the beginning of his journey, the Bills were getting better. I was not a Josh Allen fan when he got drafted, but I wanted to see what he did. And now he's a top 3 quarterback in the league. No doubt, he's one of the best in the league. However, they got him Stephon Diggs. They drafted better around him, but there's something that really pissed me off. And that is the Bills went from building a team around Josh Allen to, oh, we expect you to be perfect every game. And that's with little weapons that you have out there. How is that fair, realistically? How is that fair?
It's not. I don't know. Like, I guess Josh Allen could have taken less money, like the Brady. Took less money to win. So he wanted to get paid, which was fine.
See, that's the thing. He always restructured his contract, which is why I don't really believe that. Because, yeah, Allen's getting paid a shitload of money. I'm not saying getting anything away from him. He deserves it. But the thing with Josh Allen is that he's always restructuring his deal just so that everyone else around him can get a little financial cap and they can go and spend. But if there's one thing that really fucking aggravated me, and I actually just come to learn this yesterday or 2 days ago, was I found out, I don't know if it's true, but there are allegations out there that, yes, Brandon Beane was trying to get a wide receiver, which they desperately needed in order to make a deep run in the playoffs. We obviously know that they tried to get, Rashid Shaheed. They tried to get Calvin Ridley. They tried to get a receiver, at least one. But there was a story that came out that really pissed me off. And that was supposedly he approached the Miami Dolphins about Jalen Waddle.
I knew where you were going with this.
Yep. So Jalen Waddle is available, allegedly. Denver Broncos were interested. New York Giants were interested at one point. And then it's like, okay, you want Jalen Waddle. What do you want for him? And the Dolphins say, we want a first-round pick in 2026 for him. And Bede's like, oh, no, sir. I value those picks. I want to give you next year's first-round pick. Nope, no deal.
Yeah.
So,
well, that I read the same story, and like I told you with my Giants, I wanted Waddle really bad, but Miami's asking price of a first rounder for the Giants, I would have said no. I'd rather keep that pick for the Giants.
That's correct.
But for the Bills, that would have been such a huge upgrade at wide receiver for Josh Allen now that I would have definitely gave him that first round pick.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. Like, I love Jalen Waddle. He's probably the only player on the Dolphins that I actually could straightforward say I respect. I love Jalen Waddle. But here's the thing. You have to be some ignorant, arrogant fucking idiot to not go out and say, all right, I'm willing to give up my first round pick to, quote, go all in. Look at everyone else around you. The Jets got 5 first-round picks in the next 2 years by simply trading Sauce Gardner and Quentin Williams, which we discussed. And then you have the Jaguars, who are in limbo right now, trading for Jacoby Myers, which worked out much better because Travis Hunter just had LCL sprain and surgery. He's out for the year. So that trade now makes more sense. But in Buffalo's case, what Brandon Beane arrogantly did was he didn't want to sacrifice one little pick. He didn't want to give up that precious first-round pick in a mediocre draft for an established elite wide receiver. How fucking stupid do you have to be to not give up that kind of leverage?
And the thing is that they don't even draft well anyway. They haven't drafted well the last couple seasons.
Well, that's
they took Keon Coleman over Ladd McConkey.
Yeah, and I was screaming for the roof, get Ladd McConkey. But what do? They got Keon Coleman because they thought, well, he has the NFL body. He can do this. He can do that. But no, they didn't even bother. They went and got Keon Coleman. And I said it last week. Keon Coleman fucking sucks. I'd rather throw him away in a trade tomorrow than do what they currently have right now. Keon cannot create separation. And he spends more time trying to put on a fucking persona than he is about actually doing his goddamn job.
Yeah, but that yellow jacket, man, shit's hot.
Yeah, really. But realistically, that whole Jalen Waddle story just pissed me off.
It did because I talked about it last week. That I'm glad the Giants didn't make the trade, but then when it came out later that the Bills were also in the running, and they wouldn't give up the pick. They tried to get it to the next year, and I was like, whoa! I was like, that's a huge mistake.
Yeah, no, and believe me when I say this, and I'm going to be your crystal ball. The Bills are going after 2 wide receivers in the offseason. I can guarantee you one of them is going to be A.J. Brown.
Yeah, probably.
And the other one is probably going to be Jalen Waddle. But again,
now how old is A.J. Brown now? He's got to be getting up there now.
A.J. Brown?
Yeah.
God. A.J. Brown.
I can look it up while you're talking.
Yeah, A.J. Brown's got to be at least in his mid to late 20s at minimum. But my point is that you have to be that goddamn stupid to not trade a first-round pick. I would have done so. Trade a first-round pick for an elite wide receiver like Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle is in Miami for Tua's benefit. That's it. But if you have a pair with Josh Allen of all people, oh man, Jalen Waddle would be first team All-Pro at that point.
Yeah. So A.J. Brown's only 28. I actually thought he was near 30. But yeah, he's 28. Jalen Waddle's only 26 though.
Yeah. And he apparently went on a live stream on Twitch the other day, and he's like, oh, by the way, my situation in Philly is a shit show. Yeah, because he's not being used. They could have easily traded him to another team where A.J. Brown would feel appreciated. But Devontae Smith's getting all the touches. Dallas Goedert's getting all the touches.
Yeah. But if we're going back to A.J. Brown, did you see the last play that the Eagles ran in that horrible Monday night game?
Well, no, not exactly, but go ahead.
Because the Eagles were up and they should have ran the clock out, and they tried to pass and stop the clock and then gave the ball back to the Packers with some time on the clock because they tried to force it into A.J. Brown.
Yeah. Do you think it's fair to say that Nick Sirianni could get fired this year?
No, only because they just won last year, and it's like, I don't know. That gives you a little bit of leeway, maybe 2-3 years.
It's only a matter of time, realistically. But like I said, it's so stupid. Like, that is horrible, incompetent management. You see, you understand why I was saying earlier that Bean deserves to get fired? When you have the audacity to tell people that getting wide receivers is the dumbest thing I've ever heard, especially over the summer, and then not trading for a receiver, but you were holding on to your pride for a first-round pick in next year's draft. You could have had Jalen Waddle, but instead, now you have no choice, and you have to go dumpster diving, and you have to go get McCole fucking Hardman.
Yeah, that was really deep in the dumpster.
I mean, he does provide speed, but he's always hurt.
Yeah, but that's it. Speed, which, yes, will help on this team because they can't get any kind of separation.
At least,
you know, and Gabe Davis is almost back too, healthy, maybe.
I did hear that Davis might play on Sunday against the Buccaneers. So, yeah, Tampa is on one leg right now on their offense. I mean, yeah, they have Baker. They have Emeka Egbuka, who I love. I love Emeka Egbuka. You know, no Bucky Irving. They had another running back. I forget his name. He got suspended for taking drugs. He's out for 6 games. No Chris Godwin. No Mike Evans. Tampa's really running in short.
And they're still rolling.
Somehow. They lost to the Patriots, though. And we got 2 comments. One from Larry. Yeah, one from Larry and one from Jolene. The one from Larry, he said, plus our run defense is going to be killed to the Bills. And he said Gabe Davis will be called up from the practice squad. Unfortunately, we'll see. And she said, and Jolene says, Bills need some sort of big shakeup. Yep. I am not surprised by this because
I think we discussed every shakeup.
Every way possible in the book. I mean, there's no way around it. There's no way around that. I am sorry. But
yeah.
I think we went on about the Giants and the Bills for a little bit. Let's talk about Jacksonville because there's been a lot of buzz about the Jaguars as of late.
No, yeah.
Yeah, do you see the news?
I have not, so why don't you enlighten me?
Yes, I will enlighten you, Mr. Mike Rutt. So, so Mike Bianchi, who is an insider for the Jacksonville Jaguars, has reported from the Orlando Central, by the way, he reported the Jacksonville Jaguars are coming to Orlando, and the Jaguars have made the critical decision to temporarily play in 2027 in Orlando, not Gainesville, Florida. And while their stadium in Jacksonville is being renovated, the league now owners are just about to rubber stamp it, and then boom, they're relocating to Orlando for a couple of years.
A couple of years? Wow.
Yeah, because the Jacksonville Jaguars got approval for major renovations to TIAA Stadium. I don't even know if it's called that anymore, but they're trying to make it into a state-of-the-art renovated stadium. Kind of like how the Tennessee Titans are doing it, kind of like how the Cleveland Browns are doing it. They're getting this brand new roof on top of all that. You know what I mean? And this big, shiny thing. It's hard to describe it.
It's a big, shiny thing.
Yeah, if you
I think you perfectly described it.
But if you want to get the picture that show it to the people who don't know, then be my guest. But Jay said, do you guys feel the Jaguars failed Travis Hunter this season? My answer is yes. I'm going to say no because he did not ask to be injured. It's the fact that the Jaguars, they're doing okay. There was a very big reason why they traded for Jacoby Myers.
I mean, I drafted him in my fantasy this year, and I thought he was going to be a really big prospect, and he just didn't seem to get used enough. I know he's playing – they were trying to get him to play both ways, to offense and defense. That's just not possible in the NFL. Come on.
No. like, I love the idea of being a receiver and a defensive back. I love that idea, but
I love it too, but I mean, with how fast these players are and how much they train all year long, like every second that you're resting on the side of the field, you're getting better, like to get back in the game and be at the top peak. If you're playing both sides of the ball, how are you ever going to rest?
Yeah, there's no way around it. But I just got a word that it's not TIAA Stadium. It's Everbank Stadium.
Everbank Stadium. Okay.
Yep. And Tom just sent me the picture of the stadium. So I will send that to you, Mr. Mike Rudd, and you could put it up on the podium. What do you say?
Sure.
There you go. I just sent you the picture, and you can show the crowd. But yeah, no. So the Jacksonville Jaguars, for those you don't know, are getting major renovations to Everbank Stadium, and it's gonna be really like developed into this like glass dome looking environment. I don't know how to really describe it, but it's more of like it's kind of like a dome vibe to it, but there's like a roof, kind of like how you see SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles, kind of a thing. It's hard to explain. But Damien's going to get the picture in a second, and he's going to show the viewers. But anyway.
Yeah, I'll pick it up soon.
Yep. So Jay just said, I say yes because he's a better receiver than corner, and he can make rats out of something. Not necessarily.
Well, I would have rather him been a receiver the whole season. I think it would have been beneficial for him just to stay at that position.
It's tough to say because – Travis Hunter was not really given a chance to really show his defensive scheme. Like, he wasn't really given a chance to really show what he could do in the back end. He was given more as a chance to be a receiver, and the Jaguars are just loaded up with receivers. Like, you have Jacoby Myers, Travis Hunter in general. You have Brian Thomas Jr. You have good running backs. You have Travis Etienne, you have Trevor Lawrence, obviously. You have a decent defense, but Devin Lloyd's a beast. I'll say that. But the Jaguars are really – I feel like they're up and coming. But you know what I mean? It's like they're kind of a middle-of-the-road team. I'm not a big Liam Cohen fan. I am not a fan of Liam Cohen as the head coach. Right.
I almost got the picture here.
Yep. So while Damien is doing that, yeah, no. But it's actually pretty damn nice. There it is. So this is the Everbank Stadium that's going to be renovated in Jacksonville while they're in Orlando. There it is.
Yeah, that's more fans than they usually get for a game already in that picture.
I feel bad for all 8 of them in that picture. God damn.
They don't even know what they're in for.
Oh, no. They have no fucking clue. And I just received a tip from our co-host, John Blaine. He should be on the show in 10 minutes. So for those of you who don't know, John Blaine is the host of the Round the Ropes with John and Jeff. John and Jeff, excuse me. So Around the Ropes, that's John Blaine stuff. He's coming on the show in about 10 minutes to hang out with you guys. So if you guys want to ask him.
We got to go back to the Giants, huh?
Yeah, but you know what? He said, I'll be right there, guys. I was stuck in traffic. Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah.
He's fine. But yeah, no. The other thing, I don't know if you've heard this as well. Joe Burrow might be getting traded.
Okay, but why?
Why, you may ask? That's a good question, my friend. So there's a chance that Joe Burrow could be available for trade this offseason. And this is according to Jordan Schultz, by the way. He said Burrow, who's currently on a max contract, would be difficult to trade for, but many believe in personnel perspective and executives had reached out to Schultz about him, and they believe that he could land the Bengals two future first-round picks and a starting caliber player, preferably on the defense, because let's be honest, their defense sucks dick. Mm-hmm. And the question is, why would the Bengals do this? The answer is the offense has proven capable of putting up points without him, and the assets received for Burrow could then be invested into the defense. And the teams that could make sense for Burrow, including the Arizona Cardinals, who could also swap out Kyler Murray because Kyler Murray may have played his last down with the Cardinals. Yep, the Jets with all the draft capital, and then, of course, the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah. It never seems to work out for the Jets, no matter who they get for quarterback. They would probably make that trade in a heartbeat for Joe Burrow, and then Joe Burrow would disappear.
I will say the Jets' offensive line is a hell of a lot better than their defense. Oh, I'm sorry. It's a hell of a lot better than the Bengals. Because how many injuries has Joe Burrow had in like 6 years with the Bengals?
Quite a few.
Yeah, including this year. And by the way, his 21-day practice window is now in full swing, and he could be back by week 14 against Buffalo. Yeah, what a coincidence.
Oh, boy.
Joe Burrow.
I just can't see Cincinnati ever doing that. I mean, he's from Ohio. He got to play, in Ohio for NFL football. I know he started at Ohio State, didn't get any playing time there, then left for LSU. So, I mean, I guess there's a possibility he could leave Ohio again, but I don't know why he'd want to.
Well, in my defense, LaShawn McCoy played years and years and years of both high school and pro football, and even in college in Pennsylvania. And he was there. He was going to be a projected Eagle for life, and then one day he gets traded to the Bills. Look where that got him.
Yeah, he didn't want to come here.
Yeah, he didn't want to come, but he kind of chimed in because, at the time they had a really shitty track record, with Rex Ryan, and then it was just basically a full carousel at that point. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to imagine, like, what anything could come out of that, It's crazy because I could very well see Joe Burrow being traded, but it also depends on, like, what happens down the line. Do the Bengals make the playoffs? I'll say this. If the Bengals somehow make the playoffs, they're going to keep Joe Burrow. If they don't make the playoffs, then I can foresee them making a trade.
I don't know. I hope they do good this week. I got Flacco as my starting quarterback.
Oh, boy.
Wait, Jones is on bye, man. So I had to go to another quarterback.
Yep. So let's get right down to the predictions, shall we? Because we have a lot to cover for hockey, and there is a lot to say.
Sure.
So with that being said, let's get started. So Thursday Night Football is the Jets and Patriots.
The Patriots.
I got to go with the Pats, unfortunately. I really hate saying it. I want the Jets to win, but I have no faith in them. So I got to go with the Patriots, unfortunately. Fuck.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, it's not doing anybody justice. Anyway, so the next game up is in Spain. We have the Commanders and the Dolphins.
Ooh. I don't know, man. It's like I told you last week. It's like those games that are overseas, almost all of them are just like a coin flip. Every time I go, doesn't matter who the two teams are, it's like a coin flip every time.
It feels that way.
Can Miami keep the momentum going? Man, it's a tough one. I'm gonna go Miami.
Okay. I'm going to go with the Dolphins as well, even though I think they played really well against the Bills on Sunday, which honestly that should have never have happened, but they got the win, and that's all that matters. So they're probably going to ride on that hand. So give me the Miami Dolphins. All right. The next one is the Buccaneers and the Bills.
The Buccaneers and the Bills. Well, I think, like I said, it's going to depend on which Buffalo Bills team shows up, but they are at home, and I think the good team is going to show up. And I'm taking the Bills.
I'm going to do a reverse jinx. I'm going to do the Buccaneers.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, because I said Buffalo. Last week I said they could lose to Miami, but I wasn't really sure about it at the time. Now I know for sure. I'm riding with the Bucs, at least for the betting perspective. Obviously, I want the Bills to win, but I just have this persona of a reverse jinx.
Yeah.
So, Buccaneers.
Well, I know. I asked you last week, was there any way that the Bills would lose to Miami?
What was my response?
You said anything could happen.
I mean, it's football. That's why you play the game. That Miami game just made me sick to my stomach. It made me squeal. And then we actually have a pessimistic comment from Larry. The Bucs over the Bills, and the Bucs will run for over 200 yards. With what running back, Chief? Bucky Irving's not playing.
Yeah. No, fucky Irvin.
No Bucky, no Mike Evans, no Chris Godwin, no backup. So
we'll Baker Mayfield it is.
Yeah, pretty much. So reversing the jinx, I want the Bills to win, but I'm taking the Bucs. Hope it works.
All right, we'll see how it works.
All right. Then we're taking the Packers and the Giants.
Packers and the Giants. Jameis Winston, his first game in how long? Ooh. But the Packers have been so bad, too. I don't get this team. I don't get it. They should be so much better. But I'll still take them in this game. I'm going Packer.
Yeah, I agree. So I'm going to take the Giants, actually.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I am taking the Giants. Because let me tell you why. Jameis Winston, when he plays, I know he's not perfect, and he never will be. But Jameis has that streak in him where if he gets hot early, he's going to take over the game.
He does. And he has.
I know that he's not going to have a lot to play with, but I think he can make it work.
He could just play with himself.
It's finger looking good. That's right, baby. So give me the Giants in that situation. Yeah. All right. Then we have the Panthers and the Falcons.
Panthers and Falcons. I don't know. The Falcons have been so close the last couple weeks.
Yeah, and they almost beat Indianapolis.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna go with the Falcons. They got to pull one of these off.
Yeah, I don't trust the Falcons. After what they did last week, I don't know what to say to them. I'm going to take the Panthers. I'm going to take Carolina because the last time they played, it was in Charlotte, and the Panthers shut them out.
There you go. I mean, the Falcons had New England on the ropes, let them off. They had Indianapolis on the ropes, let them off. So I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. So give me the Panthers. All right, then we have the Chargers and the Jaguars.
Oh, Chargers.
Yeah, I'm going Chargers also. There you go. Then we have the Bears and Vikings. Well, I'm taking Chicago.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, I'm going to take Chicago.
I don't know. Caleb Williams looked good the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Vikings, though. JJ's back in, baby.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting matchup. So I'm going to take the Bears. And then we have the Bengals and the Steelers. Oh, oh, baby.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm going to go with Wacko Flacco, baby.
You know, it's funny. I was thinking the same thing. I swear to God. I was thinking the same thing.
Wacko Flacco.
Yeah. I'm taking the Bengals, even though they're horrible this year. The one thing I will say that Cincinnati has that Pittsburgh doesn't is Cincinnati has 2 established wide receivers right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big, big advantage for the Bengals.
It is.
Oh, boy. And then we have the Titans and the Texans.
Ooh, Titans and the Tech. Oh, Davis Mills looked good playing last week. So I'm going to have to go with the Texans.
He did against Jacksonville.
Yeah.
That big comeback.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take Houston.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that's a given. San Francisco and Arizona. Okay, San Francisco.
Arizona's a mess right now.
Arizona looked like shit last week.
I don't know what they're doing. They're just an absolute mess. They just got to tear it all down to the studs.
Yep. Next, and then this game coming up at 4:05 on Sunday, the Seahawks and the Rams.
Ooh, that's a good one, too.
Yeah, it is. I'm going to take the Rams.
Yeah, I'm taking Rams, too.
Yeah,
but it's going to be close.
It's going to be very close. And if I'm not mistaken, the winner of that game gets first place in the NFC West.
All right.
It's a big jump for whoever wins that game.
Yeah, it is.
Indeed. And then we have, let's see here. And then we have the Chiefs and the Broncos.
Oh, God. Both of these teams, I don't know how they even managed to win a game. It's like, I don't know. They seem like they're like out of the game for most of the game, and then somehow at the end of it, they end up winning. Both of these teams.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Broncos.
I'm taking the Broncos because fuck the Chiefs.
Exactly. Fuck the Chiefs all day, every day. Next one, we have the Ravens and the Browns.
Ravens, Browns. So, man, that's a tough one. I'm going to say the Ravens are going to squeak this one out.
Yeah, I'm taking the Ravens. And then on Sunday Night Football, we have the Lions and the Eagles.
Ooh, that's a good one, too.
Yeah, that's a very good one. I'm going to take the Lions.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Lions, too, because the Eagles, that Monday night game against the Packers, man, that was a horrible game.
Oh, yeah. No, Green Bay was horrible, too. But Philly, man, they looked lost.
Yeah,
they looked lost.
I don't get it.
I don't either. But I'm taking Detroit. And then finally, we have the Monday night game. We have the Cowboys and the Raiders.
Cowboys and Raiders. Wow.
On Monday night.
Wow. I'm not going to watch that game.
Yeah, no, I'm going to because my wife would want to watch it. But, yeah, I'm taking the Cowboys.
Yeah, probably. Sad. We them boys.
Yeah. Fuck, man. Why did the football gods punish us this week?
I don't know. Like I said, I'm just hoping for my team to lose all the time. We need another top pick.
Well, yeah, you kind of need it at this point. So there's that.
That's all I care about. And we do have one other comment here from Jolene. She thinks the Seahawks are going to take that game. So she disagrees with us.
That's fine.
Be contrarian. Go ahead.
It's okay. So with that being said, we're going to go to commercial break in a few minutes. Well, actually now, for that matter. So we're about to go on commercial in a few minutes, and then when we come back, it's going to be hockey because we have a lot to cover. So with that being said, we'll be right back after these messages. This episode of I-86 After Dark is brought to you by Superfry, right here in Merrick, New York. Superfry is serving up homemade soup, legendary hand-cut fries, and wraps that always hit the spot. And if you're hungry for something next level, try the Zazzini, stacked with crispy bacon, melted mozzarella cheese, juicy chicken cutlet, and their signature Roscoe dressing. One bite and you'll know why it's a local favorite. So when you're craving real flavor, head to Superfry in Merrick, New York. Big taste, handcrafted, and always fresh. To place your order, call 516-379-SOUP or just scan the QR code on your screen and get Superfry fast. Welcome back to I-86 After Dark, everybody, and it is the second half. Hope you guys enjoyed that first half with football. Now we're getting down to the good stuff, hockey. So, yeah, we have a lot to cover tonight for sure. But one thing we know for certain at this point is the New York Islanders. Woo! Oh, shit. Talk about the Islanders.
Yeah, I mean, it started off not a great week for us because it started off with that Friday night game against the Minnesota Wild, which somehow Minnesota's another team that we can never seem to beat. I don't know. They're like a juggernaut every time we come in to play them. So the Islanders never even showed up for that game. And they ended up losing 5-2. So then the next day we go and we play the crosstown rivals, the New York Rags, on Saturday, and we're thinking at this point, this is going to be a shit show. And then we dominate that game from start to finish. 5-0 beat them. Because up until this point, the Rangers were winless at home, so they were looking for their first win at home. So naturally, we think we're probably going to give them their first win at home. But no, we end up winning 5-0. So then the next day, we go and play the Devils, and the Devils they haven't lost at home yet. And so we beat them on Sunday night, 3-2 in overtime. So it ended up being a really good start to the road trip.
Yeah, you know what, too? I will say as well, statistically, the Islanders are 4-1-1 within their last 6 games. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, that's a total of what? 10 points in total?
Yeah.
Maybe 11? Yeah, no.
It was really good. I mean, it wasn't all, like, even though we did beat the Devils on Sunday night, I mean, that game, the Devils did control most of that game.
They did.
You know, we almost closed it out in regulation, but somehow Patrick Waugh thought it was a great idea to have Mayfield and Romanoff out there for the final seconds of that game.
Which makes
no
sense.
Why?
Realistically, I don't understand that logic either. It's like you go into it and you say, yeah, we're about to beat the Devils at home in regulation. And then all of a sudden you pull off this big blown lead out of your ass. And it's like, great, now they're going to lose in overtime. And then we just pack it up. And then I would later have to come to the conclusion, like, oh, shit, the Islanders, they're going to have a coaching problem all year long. It's going to be one of those years, huh?
Well, it was just weird. I'm like, why would you put your worst defensive pairing out there? And Romanoff's been just freaking trash all season so far. He has been awful. He's been the worst. Yeah, I know. He got paid. Let's stop with these 7-8 year contracts because it's not working for the Islanders. So Romanoff gets paid. He immediately becomes our worst defenseman. And then they had to switch up the D pairings because Romanoff was with D'Angelo, who's probably our second worst defenseman on the season. So then they stick him with Mayfield, who is usually our worst defenseman, has been okay this season. But to put the two of them together for the final, I think it was like 8 seconds or maybe 12 seconds left when they took the face off. And the Devils, of course, score with 4 seconds left to go in the game. And then you automatically thinking, oh, we probably lost this game now. But hopefully they can win in overtime because, if it goes to the shootout, we lost. That's a given.
Well, do you think that it would have made a difference if somehow Romanoff was swapped out for, like, D'Angelo?
No. But it's crazy at this point in his career, an 18-year-old Schaefer is a better option out there at that point.
Well,
that's sad.
Schaefer's defense, though. In Schaefer's defense, they've been playing a hell of a lot better in years. And I think that, Matthew Schaefer right now, and as you said last week, our Lord and Savior, Matthew Schaefer. I got to say he's a beacon of light for this team. And I think whenever he's on the ice, he makes a huge impact. But I think he makes everyone else around him better. For an 18-year-old kid, that is a hell of an achievement. Now, I'm not taking anything away from him. But I'm just saying statistically, the Islanders should really look into it from now to the deadline in March. They should really consider trading for a defenseman. And I'm not talking about some old bum fuck that you find in a nursery home. I'm talking about a legit top 6 defenseman on the right side of things. That's what you should be doing. That's what Dark should be looking into. Because there is some rumors I want to look into during this episode because there are some information that are coming out about the Islanders. But I think we should all celebrate as well in this episode while we're on the air is in the last 8 or 9 home games the Rangers have played, the Rangers, including the one on Saturday against the Islanders, have been shut out as of this recording in 5 of the last 8 home games.
Mm-hmm. Well, it couldn't happen to a better fan base. I mean, half of them don't even care about hockey that are there anyway.
What, the Ranger fans?
Yeah.
Well,
it's just a business write-off. They're mostly it's corporate.
Well, to be fair, that's like a lot of cities. Toronto was like that. Toronto's like that. New York's like that. Boston even's like that. And I've been to all three of them. But I'm just saying. Oh, here we go. From Jay. Josh Morrissey! Thumbs up.
Well, I mean, Josh Morrissey has been great this season. I was just looking into his stats. He's got 16 games played, 3 goals, 13 assists for 16 points, a +9. Just as solid as Schaefer. Of course, he's 30. Schaefer's 18.
Yep. And then he also said to you that he said the Grape Dane is taking on the Islanders win over the Devils begins now. So I guess, Jay, like I said in your previous comment or previous episode last week, I said to you that you should be like the ambassador of the Damien Mike Ruck fan club, and Jay should be your first customer.
There you go. I like it.
Yeah, that dude fucking loves you, man. That's all I'm saying. You get more love from Jay than I would from anybody else. As far as
I don't know, but I guess because I'm very passionate about the Islanders. I'm the head of the Buffalo chapter of the Islanders meetups. So we're actually gonna be in Rochester next Friday for the Rochester Americans game against the Bridgeport Islanders. So we're rolling about 30 deep. So it should be fun.
There you go. And speaking of that, while you're doing a promotion as well, I should also announce that on November 28th, that's where it all starts. From November 28th to December 2nd, I will be in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania for the big one for Road to 32. And unfortunately, for a little while, this will be my last Road to 32 episode for at least till 2027, as I'm taking the year off from travel to be with my son. So when he comes to the world in March. So I'm excited to do that. And Jay said, I show you love Buffalo too. What the fuck is this say? I show you love
too, Buffalo. He's talking about you.
But I don't know if you are a Panther fan or a Bills fan. Dude, I'm a Bills fan. The only reason I'm called a Panthers fan is because this dickhead saw my bucket that I brought home from Charlotte.
Hell yeah. I mean, what are you looking forward to getting from Pittsburgh?
I'd say easily the terrible towel.
Yeah, so you can wipe your ass with something.
No. If you disrespect the terrible towel, that team loses. No. I keep it as a collector's item. I'll put it that way. But yeah. So November 28th to December 2nd, me, my partner Tom Wojcik, who is also on the show, and my wife Brittany and our buddy Rob Hazu, we're going to be in Pittsburgh for that weekend trip. So just letting you know, that's my final Road 32 episode for at least till 2027. So that's out of the way. So with that being said,
someone decided to be a father.
Yes, I am. I am very blessed to be a dad, and I'm very, very excited. But I'm just saying, man, like there's a lot going on in my life that I'm excited for in the future as well, and all that stuff. But yeah, so let's get down to the business of things, and that is the Rangers suck. They've been shut out in 5 of the last 8 home games, which is fucking hilarious because of the idea that they're a road warrior team, and yet they're fucking mediocre at home. How does that make any sense?
I mean, how much longer do you think Drury is gonna be with the Rangers?
Oh,
they got rid of Kreider, they got rid of Trouba. They bring in JT Miller, who was a cancer in Vancouver, and then make him the captain. Like, you can't make that shit up.
No, you can't. And on top of all that, you also pay $7 million per year for the next half decade or so for Vladislav Gavrikov.
That signing hasn't been that bad this season, though.
Yeah, this year. I'm talking long term, buddy.
And then what are they going to do with Panarin? Because Panarin's got to be up soon, too.
You know, it's funny. I did read something saying that Panarin might get traded if the Rangers were out of contention by March.
Shit, they might be out by December.
Well, as of right now, the Rangers have played in 17 games. They're actually currently winning, as of this recording, they're winning midway through the third period, 5-3 over the Tampa Bay Lightning. So there's that. The Rangers are 8-7-2 with 18 points within 17 games they played, and they're just at 500. which is crazy to me. But the worst team in this offense is, if you look at everyone that's not in the playoffs right now, the New York Islanders, the Detroit Red Wings, the New York Rangers, the Washington Capitals, the Florida Panthers, the Columbus Blue Jackets, the Toronto Maple Leafs, and the Buffalo Sabres.
Well, I mean, the Islanders this coming week, they're probably on the toughest stretch of games on the season this week because they have Vegas tomorrow. They got the Utah Grizzlies on Friday.
Grizzlies.
Jesus. Utah Mammoth.
The Mammoth.
I'm going way back, dude.
Yeah, you are.
Utah Mammoth on Friday. Colorado Avalanche Sunday, and then the Dallas Stars on Tuesday.
I mean, I could see them winning maybe 2 of those. I could see them.
If they could win 2 of them, that would be fantastic. I would take that because they've already won 2 out of the 3 to start the road trip, so it's not too bad.
Plus, they beat the Rangers and they beat the Devils. At that time, they were undefeated at home.
And those were the most important ones because they're in division, so.
There you go. So
and then
I think it's
Shabanov's coming back too.
Yes, that too. Max Shabanov is going to be coming back pretty soon. And we actually have a waterfall of comments from Jay. He said, oh, wait, we already got that one. He said the Penguins are looking good with 21 points, but are they frauds or are they actually contenders right now? Because right now, I'm not sure.
I don't know. It's been tough. Like, look at Utah. They got off to a hot start. They've kind of cooled off. Even Jay's Winnipeg Jets cooled off a little bit. They were steamrolling for the first month of the season.
They were, but it is what
Washington
it is.
Capitals, they were doing really well at the beginning of the season. Now they're behind us.
Yeah, they are. But you know who I think is going to make this very interesting, depending on everything on how it all goes, is Philly. Philly is right up there because if you look at the standings as of this recording, Tampa Bay, after they potentially lose to the Rangers, they're going to go 8-6-2, which is the same record currently as the Islanders. And the Flyers are also playing the Oilers right now, and I believe they're losing right now, midway through the second. So if both of those teams lose, the Islanders could very well jump ahead of them without even doing anything.
I know. And I got a question for you too, Bob. Bo Horvat, do you think he's going to make the roster for Team Canada? I mean, he's got 12 goals already this season, and he's on a pace right now, if he keeps it up, for 61 goals this season.
I think he does deserve to make the Canadian Olympic team, for sure. I definitely do. But I would not pair him up as a top 6 winger because right now it is literally just loaded with star players in Team Canada, let's be honest. If this was 5 years ago, no doubt in my mind, Bo Horvat would be in that conversation. But
I know his shot is just so lethal right now. His release, it's so quick. It's like blink and it's gone.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, I love Bo Horvat. I always appreciated him in Vancouver. And then I was surprised when they traded for him to have to come to the Islanders. I was like, holy shit, they got Bo Horvat. And then the first year he was doing good. Second year he was meh, he was all right. Yeah. And then this year he's phenomenal. And he's not even halfway through his contract yet.
I mean, that's just I just don't understand Vancouver because they paid JT Miller, and then they said they can't afford to pay Bo Horvat, so they trade Horvat, and then they end up getting rid of Miller anyway because of the whole Pedersen thing.
They make the Canucks just don't make sense. But no. Jay did say we did cool off. I can't lie. I'm not sure if we can beat those Krakens tonight. Okay. Well, if the Jets by all means do well, then I think they'll do well. But Colorado and Dallas, they're right up there for sure. But it's tough. It's tough to say because it's like, Vancouver is just a shithole in general. They've always been that way, but they're also hard to read. You know what I mean? It's like they have the core pieces, they have the players, but they don't have the culture. They don't have the right coach. They don't have anything going for them.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, that sounds like another team that we typically discuss here, the Buffalo Sabres.
Yeah, the Buffalo Sabres. That's another one. But speaking of the Buffalo Sabres, there actually is some stuff that has been coming out about them. And I feel like we can look over it and see what we got here real quick. And then we actually do have some juice on the Islanders. So don't worry if you're just here for the Islanders. I promise you we will not keep this very long. So forgive us on that. So it is being said that Devin Levi has officially requested a trade out of Buffalo because of the idea that he was consistently being called up to go to Rochester and stand down there, which I think at this point he should be with the Sabres full-time roster. But I think they're having a little too much fun with like Alex Lyon and Colton Ellis and whoever else the Sabres have.
Yeah, I don't understand. I mean, he's already paid his dues with Rochester. I think it's about time to call him up. Unfortunately, they just gave that kind of sizable contract to Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen last year. And the guy is always hurt. So.
Yeah, it's not working out, apparently, from what I'm reading. But I will say there are some teams that are interested in Levi, one of them being Philly, Edmonton, and Vancouver for Levi. But if I had to pick a team, or even in this case, I would even say Carolina or Montreal could potentially be suitors for Levi. But if I had to pick one team that could have a chance at taking in Levi, I'm going to say, and this is my honest to God opinion, New Jersey.
Yeah, because like right now they're relying on Markstrom, who's up there in age.
Yeah, and New Jersey is going to need a goalie in the future. And
yeah,
holy
well,
shit.
I think New Jersey's going to be big buyers at the deadline because they are a Stanley Cup contender this year. So
yeah, and look who we got. There's our guy. Fuck Christ.
What's going on?
Are you still in traffic?
Guys? No, we just got out from dinner.
Hi. Hello.
That was the girlfriend. Ow, I think I just lost my eardrum. Thank you.
Yeah, what's going on, Chad? How was dinner?
It was good. We just ate, what place called? Jackie Riley's. Jackie Riley's in Bethpage.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah,
no, we're actually just going over some rumors that have been going around in the league for the Sabres and the Islanders. And you're actually just in time because we actually have some interesting juice that's been coming out for the Islanders, and we didn't even get to them yet, surprisingly.
Okay.
Yeah. So
can't wait to hear it.
Yeah, definitely. But no, Damon, continue what you were saying before.
I can't even remember where I was.
You were talking about the Devils.
Oh, yeah. I think the Devils are going to be a Stanley Cup player this season. They're fast. They're still reasonably young, but not too young anymore. But like you said, they could be in the running for a goaltender.
Yeah, and I think Levi could be the guy if Buffalo says, hey, we want a decent return for him. So it's definitely doable, but we have to see what they offer in return for him. And Jay actually just said, Horvat versus Eichel tomorrow night, the great Dame. And should the Islanders be worried about Eichel? No. You know what? You want to know why they shouldn't be worried about Jack Eichel? Because number one, he's a fucking dick. And two, Bo Horvat is not the same equality as Jack Eichel. Jack Eichel.
I was going to say, I'm not worried about that curly-headed fuck.
If only John had curly hair.
I actually do.
Oh, yeah.
You'd be surprised, but I got to find a photo of it.
I can testify to it. If he grows his hair out to let it get long, like, it does curl.
Oh, it is curly. Well, I did see you over the summer, and yeah, you did have curly hair. And I actually have the picture. Duh. What the fuck am I talking about?
I was going to say. I was going to say, but I know there's a few photos I can find that I posted on Facebook probably a year ago when I was younger and I had real curly hair.
Yeah, you know what's funny? You weren't on the show last week because I understand you were busy, but I got to tell you, I legitimately without exaggeration, before we move on, I legit gave Damien the best impression of you I have ever presented to him.
It actually was pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that would
You have
be.
to go back and watch it. I think it's near the end of the episode, isn't it?
Okay.
Yeah, something like that. But
I'll go back and watch it.
Or I could just perform it right now.
Well, you could.
Yeah, I had to use September's episode when the Giants lost to the Commanders. I had to use that because that was the closest thing I could actually replicate. So I just said, I just want to say this right now. I don't know what the fuck is going on over there with the Commanders. That was pretty good. That was pretty charming.
It's funny. You're the girlfriend right now is sitting here right now. I don't know if she's afraid to admit that she's with me, or afraid to admit that was actually pretty damn good.
Oh my god! I mean, I would probably make her jealous if that was you in that general consent, because I'm like, holy shit. I can't even do Damien because his voice is so fucking deep. I had to literally go down his esophagus and just raise up the volume and sound like a drunk that I can't.
My voice has always been that way too. And the crazy thing is, like, I used to be in like a church choir, and I used to have to sing all the bass parts.
Oh god, that probably explains it all. That probably explains it. But yeah, no, man. No, but I just wanted to come on record, John, before we move on and say, I'm a pretty decent voice actor in your state with your voice.
You're not the first person, and not the last person.
Nope, I sure as hell won't be. That's for sure, brother.
Well, I know you got some rumors about the Sabres, but let me just recap their week before we get into the rumors. So, since our last episode, the Sabres lost 3-0 to the Blues, and they also lost 6-3 to those jerks down in Carolina that I hate, that nobody seems to ever beat. And then this coming week, they got to play Colorado tomorrow, the Red Wings on Saturday, and the Edmonton Oilers on Monday. So they also have a tough schedule ahead. So it's not looking good in Buffalo right now. They got a lot of injuries. Dahlin's gone right now on a leave of absence to be with his wife in Sweden after her heart transplant. So he's practicing over in Sweden right now. Yuri Kulik has a blood clot issue, so he might be done for the season. And Jason Zucker has some kind of mysterious illness that's worse than what they first thought. So take that for whatever you think.
Well, I will say, by justifying that, this is kind of what happens when you put your lifelong commitment to the Buffalo Sabres for a handful of years.
Yeah. Now, I was going to ask you, what do you think the mysterious illness is?
Definitely not gonorrhea.
Ooh, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think it's that.
It could be chlamydia for all we know.
I don't know. Do you remember that shit years back with Matt Harvey with the Mets?
Matt Harvey. Oh, I mean, when you said Matt Harvey, I thought you meant like the Harvey Boys, the wrestlers.
No.
I mean, if John would have gone fucking awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, there, Bobby, it's called the Hardy Boys, not the Harvey Boys.
Well, excuse me, Princess. I didn't realize that.
Even I knew that, and I don't even watch that much wrestling.
The only wrestler I could think of right now, like in terms of like the modern age, is probably like Goldberg, but he's like 70.
Oh, shoot. Oh boy. Let's move on from this topic now, because you just said the modern age and just said Goldberg in the same sentence, and
Yeah.
Totally.
Well, what was the rumor that you heard about the Sabres?
Oh, with the Sabres? Yes. So the rumor is Levi might be getting traded, and I think New Jersey is going to be the one that inquires about his service, because Jacob Markstrom's like 36 years old. He's not going to play forever. So the Devils do need an option. in that position of need. And I'm telling you right now, if they trade him to New Jersey for a third or fourth round pick, maybe another decent, AHL player at best, I think that the Devils are going to just highway robbery the Sabres if they even approach them about that.
I don't know. The Sabres haven't gotten much in return the last couple of years for players.
No, but I will tell you that there have been some sparks about Tage Thompson and Rasmus Dahlin, which right now that's invalid. I heard that the Canadians and the Kings both inquired about Tage Thompson, but the Sabres straight up said they're not trading him. So
we'll see. I heard Montreal and Vancouver were the two teams that reached out about Tage, and Kevin Adams' response was he is not available at this time.
Keyword, at this time.
Yeah, that's the key word, at this time. But if they get rid of Tage Thompson, then the full fire sale is on again for the Sabres. And why would you keep Kevin Adams as your GM to go through another rebuild?
Beats me. And Jay actually said trade Tuck to the Red Wings. Why? Why the Red Wings?
Yeah, why the Red Wings?
Yeah, really. Why the fucking Red Wings? It doesn't make sense.
I don't want.
Well, why?
Because.
Why do you think?
Because.
I don't like that reasoning.
You're an ass.
Oh, I love that answer. Just because.
But I know we did talk last week about Shanahan possibly coming to the Sabres, and the stories are still out there that he's still interested in possibly taking over the president of hockey operations for the Sabres.
Yeah. So Tim Daniels, who covers this for SabresNoise.com, he actually confirms your case about Brendan Shanahan. And he said that Brendan Shanahan would consider taking over the Buffalo Sabres front office if he was offered autonomy. Autonomy for what? What do you need autonomy for? It's not the Shanahan plan. It's not Toronto, dude. It's Buffalo.
Well, that's where I figured that he would want total control. But then you have Jaro Kekalainen still there. So what do you do with him?
That's a great question because the rumor is that Kevin Adams is going to get fired because his contract ends after this year. And Jarmo Kekalainen was brought in originally as an advisor. They're going to promote him to be the GM.
That's what I figured. He would be the new GM, and Shanahan would be president of hockey operations. But then he's not going to get total control.
Yeah, one rumor is that Shanahan wants to be the GM. And then another is that he's not willing to be the president of hockey operations because he already took that position with Toronto. So realistically, I don't know. I don't know if he would do that again. Wouldn't you think so, Damien?
If I was Shanahan, though, I would take the Sabres job just to get back at Toronto.
I mean, anybody. I'm sure John. John, have you been to Toronto?
No, I have not.
Oh man. If only you knew. If only you knew. That's a big metropolitan city. And they love their Leafs down there. They love choking in April.
It's the Canadian New York City, but much cleaner.
I disagree.
It's Canada's New York City, though. I'm not saying it's New York City. It's Canada's New York City. Yeah,
I agree to that. But when you said cleaner, I said, I beg to differ.
Oh, it was cleaner. Well, it's been 25 years since I've been there.
Yeah, fair enough. So Jay actually said that, and he answered the question of why should they trade him to the Red Wings? He said the Red Wings are at 18 points, so Tuck can make a difference, but that's just me. To get offensive firepower, and their offensive line will be much stronger with Tuck added, and plus, it should the Sabres trade Bo Byram. Okay. Personally, no, they should not trade Bo Byram for one, because Bo Byram's under contract. Unless he says, I want out, they're not trading Bo Byram.
Well, I think it's all going to come down to whether they trade Tage Thompson and Rasmus Dahlin. Because if you trade one or both of those players, then the fire sale is probably got on at that point.
Probably. But we'll see what happens. But right now the Sabres are just kind of in a mixed bag. They desperately need to get better because this is just inexcusable for them at this point. To be 15 years without potentially making the playoffs, that is just inexcusable.
Yeah, and it's crazy is like, I'm here in Buffalo. I regularly go to Sabres games, and the fans are pretty amazing considering that they haven't been to the playoffs in 14 years. But they're one of the lowest teams in attendance, and you really can't blame that on anything else other than not making the playoffs for 14 years.
Well, you can also blame incompetent ownership, incompetent executive decisions. You could blame a lot of things.
Well, Fagula owns the Sabres just like he owns the Bills.
Wait, what did I say about Pagula earlier?
He's a jackass.
Yeah, he is a jackass. He treats the Sabres like a novelty, like a plaything, and he treats the Bills like a model citizen. And he's getting to the road where the Bills don't even get the same credit as the Sabres anymore. The only benefit is that Josh Allen is the quarterback. But other than that, the Sabres have nothing going for them.
Well, he only bought the Sabres pretty much for the real estate and the real estate around KeyBank Arena. He owns most of the real estate down there. He owns most of Canal Side. He built a hotel there. He built another ice rink across the street from KeyBank. That Buffalo Buttes, the women's hockey league, used to play at. So he owns most of that. So it was more of a land grab and a real estate grab when he got the Sabres. I don't think he was ever really interested in the Sabres. And when the Buffalo Bills became available, that's what he really wanted.
Well, he was just waiting for Ralph Wilson to die.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know John would digress and say, I wish John Mara did that for the Giants. Just sell the fucking team.
No, they actually, for once, they actually did the right move.
I think he's breaking up on us.
What's going on in that car? It's awfully dark.
Hold on, I'll try you guys back in 1 second.
Yeah.
Oh, he's coming back in 1 second.
Okay, he'll be back in 1 second. All right, so in either way, in the process of all this, yes, I agree with you. Pagula should have never bought the Bills if he was going to treat them like shit. Oh, here we go. Here comes Jay with his precious prediction. He says the Sabres should trade Bo Byram to the Canucks, and he was giving the Sabres a hard time on his new deal during the summer anyway, and he was a hot talk commodity of trade in the summer. Yeah, that's a thing called business. When you have to make a business decision, that's what you got to do.
Yeah, and there's only one Bo in hockey, and that's Bo Horvat.
That's right. But, yeah, no, as far as the Sabres, they better get their shit straightened out because things are not going to go very pretty if, by any means they do that, in the near future.
Well, I think it's just going to be a domino effect, but those dominoes at the top got to start falling first. I don't think the Sabres are going to make trades just to make trades. It's going to start from the top if that's what they're going to do.
Only stupid teams do that. And I was saying this about Bean, is that, earlier, I don't mean to go back to football for a second, but I said that about Bean. He's not going to make a trade for the sake of making a trade. I said that last week, but he also had an opportunity to make one, but chose not to. And the same thing is applying in hockey, is that the Sabres just make trades just to make everybody happy. And I haven't seen any impactful trade from the Sabres in 6-7 years.
Oh, it's been a long time. But even all these teams that we cover all have something in common. Like you were talking about the Bills going out and having a huge game against the Chiefs and then a big letdown against the Dolphins. How many times have the Islanders done that? They get up for the Ranger game and then usually have this huge letdown after the Ranger game. And thank God they were just able to squeak that game out in New Jersey.
Yeah, for certain. But speaking of the Islanders, there's actually a lot of tea that has to be spilled out here because we are on the discussion of trade rumors.
Okay.
There actually is one rumor that's actually started to crawl in my ear, for a better lack of word, is that Jordan Kyrie's name has been coming up.
A lot.
Oh, yeah, big time. He's been brought up. And the New York Islanders could find themselves monitoring a potential situation in St. Louis, and reports are suggesting that tensions between Jordan Kyrou and the Blues is known for his speed and offensive flair, has had an inconsistent start to the season, and they're sparking speculation about his long-term future with the Blues. And with St. Louis seemingly retooling under the new regime and new direction and whatnot, a shakeup involving Kyrou is not out of the question. However, for the Islanders, who continues to search for a reliable top six scorer to complement Matt Barzal and Bo Horvat, Jordan Kyrou's availability could be worth exploring with his contract, which runs for another 6 years. So 2030 is when this contract ends. And he's carrying an $8.125 million cap hit, which may complicate trade logistics, but also signs long-term in terms of stability. And if the Blues front office should be among the first to make the call. So my question to you, Mr. Mike Rutt, is should the Islanders pursue Jordan Kyrou? Because his name came up over the summer, but nothing contracted. And now his name comes up again.
I mean, he's reasonably young. He's 28 years old. I'd say if they were a little bit further ahead in the retool, rebuild they got going on right now, maybe. Right now, I just don't think it makes sense for me.
It's tough to say because the Islanders need a top six winger. They need a goal scorer bad. Because let me give you a fun fact here. The last time the Islanders had a 40-plus goal scorer on their team was 20 years ago. Jason Blake. That was the last time who scored 40 goals for the New York Islanders in a full season. Unless you want to count Tavares.
No, we're not counting Tavares. We don't count that. We don't count that asshole.
I agree, but I'm just throwing it out there. But no, Jason Blake, if you want to be realistic, he's the last player to score 40-plus goals in a single season.
Oh, I know. I remember that. That was pretty much the mercenary season right after the lockout.
Yeah, that's very true. But you know what? At the end of the day, they could really use a guy like Kyrou. Honestly, I'd be totally on board with that.
They could, but what are they giving up? It's going to take at least a first-round pick, at the very least.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm just saying, a first-round pick at the very least, probably a prospect. So which prospect are we giving up? And probably even a third piece to get him.
Okay, so as of this recording, right now, the projected cap for the Islanders for their current cap situation is $776K. But the cap is going up next season. So if you want to be logistical here, the Islanders moving forward, because this year is going to be a deep draft because, Gavin McKenna's in this draft. If you want to be logistical, how about the first round pick you got for Brock Nelson?
Yeah.
Because keep in mind, the Islanders do not have a second round pick this year unless they somehow get one back, which is not going to happen.
You know what I just read here too is after this season, so if you trade for Jordan Kyrou after this season, his no trade clause kicks in too. So then we got another one of those players.
Right. But if he enjoys Long Island, because right now his situation in St. Louis is pretty bad. But I will say for certainty is this. Anders Lee and JG Pajot are both unrestricted free agents this year. Lee is making $7 million. Pajot is making $5 million. So you're dumping $13 million right there.
Yeah.
But I'm just throwing it out there. And Shabanov is a RFA after this year. But if you also want to get technical, you can even throw in Tony DeAngelo. But you might be correct on that the Islanders may have some breathing room after this year. They might make some moves at trading a cap player. You know what I mean? Like, you can't trade Engvall because he's out for the year. Can't do that.
Yeah. Well, the problem with, the reason I would like the Kyrou deal is because it comes via trade. That's how we seem to get our best players is via trade once they see how Long Island is, then they stay. We've never, ever been able to attract a free agent to the Islanders. So until that happens, I don't care how much cap space we have. I don't ever see it happening.
Well, you got to make some sort of move. I mean, look at all the players in the 80s. The Islanders drafted half of those players. Some of those players were traded. That's how you build a winning culture. You have to – it doesn't even matter about location to me. It's more about building a culture. And the Islanders are right now – they have a young defenseman in Schaefer who they can build around. They have a young Cal Ritchie, and they could also build around him as well. So it's more about getting rid of the shit contracts that Luke got to those players all those years ago, and then retooling the team for the long term. You know what I mean? Because Kyrou is in a decent contract. So I do agree with you that it's going to be hard to get him to convince him to stay. But at the same time, it also comes down to what they're willing to give up for him.
Yeah. Well, we definitely had better luck, like you said, trading for a player and having him come to the almost holding him hostage and seeing it is great. It is great on Long Island. And then they usually fall in love with it and stay. But like I said, it's going to take a first and a but like what prospect do you think they would give up?
You know, it's tough because they have arguably one of the best prospect pools in the league now that Darch has completely 180'd it.
Well, ESPN just named him number 2 in the league behind San Jose.
Oh, Victor Eklund?
No, I'm talking about the draft, their draft pool now.
Oh, the draft poll. I thought you were asking me, like, who the best prospect is.
No, they rate San Jose number 1, and the Islanders are number 2 now in the league. Up from 26 last year.
Well, let me ask you a question. How would you feel about trading Cole Yzerman?
If we were getting back this type of player in Kyrou, I might do that.
So what if it was Yzerman and a first, the Colorado pick, for Kyrou?
I would probably make that deal. But I'm thinking they're gonna want 3 pieces, so
I think it's a fair deal. I mean, if you ask me, unless you give up a third, perhaps. I mean, because
it's going to take a first, a top prospect, and then either another pick or another piece.
We'll see what happens because I honestly have no idea what's going to be upheld, but we'll see what happens because right now they could do it, but they have to do it in a way where it's done correctly. Because don't just trade for Jordan Kyrou and hope back. Because the last time the Islanders did something that stupid was the Matt Molson trade for Thomas Vanek. That was stupid.
Yes.
That was stupid. Okay. As far as I remember.
We also had the Ryan Smith deal, too. That didn't go too well either.
No, but at least from that perspective, they were giving up Robert Nielsen.
Mm-hmm.
And Nielsen didn't really do anything. So there's your benefit. Plus, Smith didn't even want to stay to begin with. Even no matter how lucky the Islanders were, even to make the playoffs at that point.
Oh, I know.
So what is Max Shavanov's status for tomorrow? He's in a non-red contact jersey.
Yep. So he's still day-to-day with upper body injury, so he's not going to be playing. He's practicing with the team, but he's not going to be playing.
Yep. And we actually have 2 more rumors about the Islanders, and then we'll get to some comments about the team, and then we'll wrap it up. So, okay. So the next rumor that actually just came out today was from Arthur Stable from Newsday. He said that the New York Islanders actually reached out to the New Jersey Devils over the summer regarding a potential move for Simon Nemec.
Like I said, if it's true, I would make a deal, but again, what are we giving up? What do the Devils want?
The
Devils need goaltending, but we don't even have goaltending sometimes.
Yeah, the key word is sometimes, but I don't even know what they're going to ask for. And I believe Mr. John Blaine is back. So there he is. But in either rate, Nemec is a good defenseman. But I did remember reading that when he was in his 2nd or 3rd year, he was very upset with the Devils because they were not giving him an opportunity to play. and this was under the previous regime before Sheldon Keefe.
Mm-hmm.
It might even be Sheldon Keefe for all I know. And the rumor was that he was not getting enough ice time, and he was going to demand a trade if he was not requested his grant. He didn't. He wanted more playing time. He wanted to get an opportunity to play to show why he was drafted number 2 by right behind Slavkovsky. You know what I mean? Like it's a big deal for a 3-year player at that stage.
But he's getting the playing time now with the Devils.
That's the point, because he's now playing for the Devils full time. Now, I don't think the trade request is in play anymore, unless the Islanders give up a ransom for him, which I would kill to have Simon Nemec, but I don't think it's going to happen as of right now. I do think that there's a better chance of getting Jordan Kyrou than Simon Nemec. That's just me.
Maybe, but I've been hearing Kyrou's name for years now, and nothing ever seems to come of it.
Yeah. And speaking of the Devils, apparently the Islanders actually sent out a few scouts, and there are 10 total scouts at the game tonight between the Devils and the Blackhawks, and the Islanders sent one of their scouts to watch that game.
Mm-hmm.
Something.
What were the two teams?
What's up? What
were the two teams?
The Devils and the Blackhawks.
Okay. So we're getting Nemec. Okay.
Yeah. So what do you think? Do you think that's going to benefit them?
I mean, if they could get that, yeah, because he's a right shot defenseman, and right shot defenseman right now, they're at a premium. I mean, look what we got for Noah Dobson, and that guy can't play a lick of defense.
Yeah, and somehow he's a two-faced player on the Canadiens right now. And we actually have a comment from Jay. He said Nemec had a strong rookie season. Yeah, he did. That was before he threw a bitch storm about his playing time with New Jersey. Whew. Yeah, no. But we'll see what happens with Nemec. But I think he stays put in New Jersey. But, yeah, John, what's going on, guy? I think his thing is broken. Or unless he can't hear us for some reason. No. But remember the comment that you made last week, Damien, about Zadorov?
Yeah.
Yeah. So during an interview with the New York Post, Matthew Schaefer was actually asked about this. And he basically was asked about how he deals with players, quote, taking runs at him, in quotation. He said, I think every team's going to really do that. And a lot of teams are going to be coming for you. So I guess they just make good plays and take your hit, and you just got to be ready to take those hits. But the question that I need to ask you is, do you think the Islanders need to get an enforcer to protect him?
Not an enforcer per se, but they need to get a little bit more physical. At least intimidate teams a little bit more.
Well, the name Ryan Reeves came up last week.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. And then Jay said, John. And he's gone.
John's gone again.
Yeah, I think he's gone for the night because there's no way his volume sucks that bad.
Yeah,
But
I don't know what's going on with that.
I have no idea either. And then finally, Matthew Shaver actually praised the Islander fans lately. And he actually said, quote, that they're the best fans in the league during an interview with the Post as well. He also said he thanks for everything they do, and they came out to reach out, and they come out every night, and it makes it easy for him to play in front of the team. In front of the crowd. I gotta say though, that kid is setting himself up to be an Islander for life.
Oh yeah, he's there. Hopefully 2 decades.
It's very possible. What were you gonna say? I'm sorry.
No, I said sign me up. 2 decades.
Imagine he plays for the team until he's like 40 years old, which is a very strong possibility.
Yeah, like Chara. Like we
Could
could have
imagine. I would love to, have Schaefer be on the island long term, but yeah, no. But I'm enjoying it for sure. But is there anything you want to say real quick, Davey, before we wrap up for the night?
No, I mean, like I said, we're going to be in Rochester next Friday. Like I said, we're rolling about 30 deep into Rochester to watch the Bridgeport Islanders cheer them on. So I've never actually been to the Rochester Americans game, so this should be interesting. We're looking forward to that. So that's probably going to be our meetup for this month because the schedule is just too compacted, and with the holidays and the Buffalo Bills and the Sabres, it's just too hard to get another watch party together this month. So that's probably going to be our meetup for this month. And then, like I said, I was at Adam Carolla last week. That was fun. That was a great time.
Oh, yeah. I was going to ask you, how'd that go?
Very good. Got to meet him afterwards. It was awesome. I should have put that picture up maybe next week. But yeah, that was an awesome time. Got to meet him afterwards, and Mike August. It was a great time. Took my son. He even enjoyed it. He was like, that was so much fun. I'm like, oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
There you go.
And then tomorrow I'll be at Bottles and Bites at the Statler Hotel in Buffalo, drinking and eating. Two of the best things that I'm really good at.
Damn straight. Damn fucking straight. So before we log off for the night, just a quick reminder, it's been 50 minutes since it was published, but if you guys aren't interested, check out the interview that me and Damien did a few weeks ago with Jakes McDonald, and I gotta tell you, that was a hell of an interview.
Yeah, it was fun. Getting jiggy with it.
Yeah, definitely. You were like, and I said it too, you were like a fucking fanboy. You were like, oh my God, Jakes McDonald's my idol. I love that guy so much.
I was.
Yeah. And then Jay said, you guys look like Jack drinkers. Well, I'm not an alcohol guy.
Yeah. Oh, I'm a huge craft beer person. Like I said, I'm one of the Buffalo Beer Geek moderators. So we just announced our big event we put on in the spring, which is really fun. So we just announced that. But I'll drink Jack. I'll drink it too. I don't care. Throw one in there.
Yeah, for certain. So, one last time, Jakes McDonald. It was a great interview. Jakes, if you're listening, we appreciate you coming on with us a few weeks ago. We appreciate it, man. And we'll send you the link to that interview and hopefully go from there. So, once again, if you haven't gotten the chance to see it yet, it just got published. Jakes McDonald, right there on YouTube. It was published at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard. Same with on Spotify. So if you want to check that out, whatever you're comfortable listening it at, it's available. So go listen to our interview with Jakes McDonald. So with that being
please
said,
check it out and be very kind to me. It was my first interview I ever did.
Yeah, don't be a dick next time. Yeah. So word of advice. Damien's first question. Just ignores Jakes. He's like, how do you do this? It didn't happen.
Oh, yeah. That was fun.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Don't trust the internet when you're trying to find questions.
Or double check your research before you do any interviews, because believe me, guys, we have more to come. We're probably going to have enough. There's definitely going to be enough to the point where I would say it covers a good portion of the season. So, yeah, even with my absence in March. So we'll go from there. So with that being said, I'm your host, Buffalo Bob. It's my partner, the Great Dane. And I'll talk to you guys later, and we will see you next week. Take care.
See you, everybody. Have a good night.
You too.